not a writer.
Okay.
For those who...
What we do here is go back.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. It's another glorious Monday. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Nothing too crazy. Didn't get hurt. Nothing like that. All safe. All good. It's ready to model. Welcome to Child of Mecha live stream. I am the one and only Child of Mecha, Tim, and I am here to hopefully enrich your modeling time, maybe entertain, maybe educate, maybe, I don't know, provide some interesting feedback or commentary even, maybe some philosophy even. Tonight's going to be interesting. I have some cool stuff planned for tonight. Worked a little bit last night on the Jesta. Well, I should say a lot. Yesterday on the Jesta, worked on the legs and stuff like that. I'll show you what I did. Worked on the ankles, started to detail those up. Going to finish that tonight. And then what I think I might do, if time permits, is something a little bit special, a little bit more advanced, and that's maybe plastic sculpting with chisels and stuff. So I'll show you what I mean a little bit later, but it should be a lot of fun. So if you guys happen to remember or have seen the latest episode of Gunpla Talk, we had Mr. Adam Ryan, owner of USAGundamStore.com, on, and we announced an initiative that we are kind of partnering with them for, and it's to raise money for charity. It's to raise money for the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, or NAAF. And what, if you guys aren't familiar with alopecia, it's an autoimmune disease that affects many people, surprisingly. But what it does is it attacks, it basically makes the body attack its own hair follicles. And this happens kind of across the board. It doesn't matter on sex, race, age, any of that. It happens more with children. But man, it seems like a really nasty thing to kind of go through. I mean, you pretty much lose all of your hair. A few of you, have reached out and say you know someone or are related to someone with alopecia, and yeah, it's not a fun thing to have at all. It's pretty bad. I actually have a neighbor across the street who has alopecia, and honestly, I didn't really even kind of make the connection until we started this initiative, but. So basically what we're doing is we're, created a campaign through GoFundMe to raise money for the Alopecia Areata Foundation. And the cool thing about it is that anybody that donates, it doesn't matter what the amount is, has a chance to win this bad boy right here. Right here. This very kit. This is the one, if you win, this is the one that you're going to get. The one here right in my hands. It's a cool kit. It's an awesome kit. The sword in this is pretty damn kick-ass. So, if you donate, which, number one, you're doing good, but you'll also be entered into our giveaway to win that kit. So, enter, obviously, for your chance to win. Donate a lot if you want to feel good about it. So definitely go to Gunpla Talk Facebook page. Check out, my pages. I've got all the links on there. Instagram, all that good stuff. You can find them pretty much wherever. If you're out of luck, if you for some reason can't find the link to the GoFundMe page, go to childofmecha.com. It's right up at the top in a big, bold red bar. It'll take you right to the campaign on GoFundMe, and you can enter. So please do that. And also, even if you don't feel like participating, even if you don't maybe have money to spare to donate, at very least do us a favor and share it with somebody. Share it in a group that I might not have shared it in. I shared it in a lot today. Got banned by Facebook for sharing it too much. Thanks, Zuck. Appreciate it, buddy. So I can't post to any groups until 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'm officially in Facebook jail for 24 hours, at least in terms of groups. So oh well, I did my part. I think it was worth it, to be quite honest with you. But please share it. Share it wherever. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. Make a video about it. Post it up to YouTube or Snapchat or Friendster or MySpace or any of that shit. Just share it wherever you can. Share it with friends. Share it with family. There's even a link to a printable flyer that you can take to an actual hobby store, and they have the little, little pull tab things with the address on it. You can actually post it, have your local hobby store post it on the wall someplace, and people could just yank the little tags off and go and enter on their own accord. So please get the word out there for us. If you can donate, if you can't do anything else, at least please share it for us. That would definitely help us out, because the more people that can see it, the more eyes that can get on this, the more money we can raise for the National Alopecia Foundation. So that's very, very important to all of us at Gumbo Talk, me especially, because I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, and I know all the other guys have too. So this has kind of been a passion project for us. We haven't really kind of found our connection yet, and then when we had Adam on, it just kind of seemed like a perfect synergy of ideas and kind of motivations, if you will. So donate if you can. Donate a lot if you can. But if you can't do either of those things, man, share it out, get the word out, and just keep pumping it out there for us. It would really mean a lot to us. All right. So that's about the fundraiser and everything. And also, hey, look at this. Whoop, whoop, Blue Destiny shirt, rocking it tonight. I love this shirt because not only is this logo I think one of the coolest logos I've ever designed, but it's also got the, wrong arm. It's also got the little exam on the arm here. That's cool too, right? You can go, super exam crazy on somebody. If you like this t-shirt, go pick it up. You can own one from the Child of Mecha store. You can also get hats with the little exam logo on it, or just the Blue Destiny logo. They're pretty dope. I like them. But as always, if you're on Facebook or YouTube right now, there's going to be a link right down there, right below the description, or the video in the description, I should say, to an Amazon link where I have already sourced most of the tools that I use. Maybe not the exotic ones, the ones you can't usually get on Amazon, but they're all on there for you, so you don't accidentally buy the wrong thing. If you see something cool that I'm using, it's on there. Okay, so check out the Amazon link. That would be awesome. And also, while you're there, I'm going to show you this really cool book again tonight. That's on there, along with a whole library of awesome mech inspired books and stuff like that for you to get some really crazy, insane inspiration from too. So we're going to take a look at this book. Let's check in with the chat, see who's on there. It seems like all the usual suspects are back with us tonight. I think that's awesome. Let's see. Let's run down the list, if we will. Chris Wu is back with us. Alex Andrews, Bailey, Jay Lynch, Gamer Bud. I saw focus camera. Come on, work with me here, buddy. Saw Jimmy Gumbo Fixation on there, touting the link to our fundraiser. That was awesome, by the way. Thank you, Jimmy, for that. Let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Gamer Bud. Yeah, I got one leg together so far, working on the second. Oh, I guess you're working on some of those new kits, huh? That's cool. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, whoa. Bunch of stuff. Hey, look at that. Junk Guild 1 just came in. Soravon 0 just came in over on the good old Twitch. Howdy, sir. Thank you for coming in. Gabriel Macias. Hope I'm saying that right, Gabriel. Thank you for watching, buddy. Appreciate that. Let's see. Exam was created by predecessor of Alice from Gundam Excess, right? Oh, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. But it looks like Bailey said, yeah, Exam predates Alice. Cool. I just love all that stuff, man. It's just kind of cool. It's like the machine takes over. It's wicked. But yeah, dude, get some Exam in your life. You won't regret it at all. All right, so let's switch over to camera here. Swoosh. All right, so the book that I have for you tonight is the very first volume of Nothing But Mech. And this is by one of my most favorite publishers. This is by Design Studio Press, right down here. Now, if you are at all familiar with the kind of Mecha books, concept art books, things of that nature, that particular name is going to be very, very familiar. If you are not familiar with it, this is an amazing studio that publishes the Nothing But Mech series. It publishes all of Luca Zampriolo's Calamity, all of his books. It publishes a bunch of other great books by some amazing mechanical designers and artists, concept designers, visionaries, things of that nature. So this, I think, was one of their first forays into the genre, and man, I love this series. They've got one, this is the first volume. They've got 2 and 3 out already. They're getting ready to release volume 4. All of those can be found on Amazon and on the link that I've already sourced for you, so you know where to get them. You know what a good price looks like. Hopefully they're on Prime all still right now. So if you do happen to subscribe to Prime like I do, man, 2-day shipping, dude, you cannot beat that at all. I love that stuff. So let's go through this because there's a ton, I mean a literal ton of information. This is such a great series. I can't say enough good things. So, all right, we're zoomed out enough. Let's see. Oh man, just look at that. That's just the inside cover, man. I mean, when you see that, you know this is going to be, this book's going to be trouble for you. Just because this is going to be chock full. This is going to be a time sink in your life, and that you're just never going to get back. And you're not going to regret that either, to be honest with you. You're going to love every second looking at this thing. So let's go through this real quick. I will try to get through pretty quickly, but man, I do love their books, man. Oh man, look at that. That's so cool. I mean, look at this. You got three little baby mechs down here. It's the best way I can describe them. Got a couple humans and some mech suits, and then you got big old daddy mech up here. I don't know. I'm just giving out names. I don't know. They might not be baby mechs. They might be scout drones. I don't know. I'm just saying. They look like baby mechs to me, and that's what I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Oh, dude, look at these things. These are sick. These are like straight out of a Neil Blomkamp movie, like Elysium or Chappie or something like that. I love those movies, by the way. Some people don't like them. I do. It's all on what your personal preference is. Quite frankly, I think I like them because of the cool concept design and things. I mean, look at this. You got like hybrid bio-mech things. You got some quirky looking little thin-legged robots over here, and then you got, okay, so there you go. You got baby robot, you got mama robot there. I mean, check the high heels. That's real rap right there. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's keep going. Just some racing looking things and just cool ass art, man. And that's one of the images from the front cover. And now this is by one of my favorite artists, Ben Morrow. Ben is a very talented, very famous concept artist. He's worked on, I mean, honestly, you think of any futuristic sci-fi type of film, TV show, miniseries, what have you, Ben Morrow's probably worked on it. This particular design is from the Netflix show Altered Carbon. If you've not seen it, holy shit, is it good. I've never even read the books either, and they say the books are just 10 times better, but man, that series was kick-ass. The concepts of it and everything, and then just the art design and the set design and everything, just the overall feel of it, fire show, man. The acting was even really, really good, and that was just blows me away. My favorite character was the hotel AI. I thought he was cool. But here, here's some more of Ben's work, man. Just super talented and just kicks ass when it comes to concept art and mech design and things of that nature. I mean, you got things in here like weapon designs. I mean, look at these things from mechs and stuff like that. These are cool. These would be really cool to like scratch build or modify an existing weapon into something like this, especially this like sniper rifle with the crazy solid long barrel there and stuff. These little guns and all that. These are really cool. And also too, I mean, look at this mech right here. Now, mind you, I don't know how much in terms of shape and form that you could, translate into, Gundam modeling. But beyond that, the color scheme on this thing is just awesome. And, you got the really dark legs with the orange accents, the medium gray kind of upper, but then you got this nice khaki tan color on top that just kind of makes everything stand out and makes that orange just kind of come to life and pop. So really good kind of color combinations in here too. You can get a whole slew of ideas. And these are more comical here. You got your door-to-door salesman mech here. That's kind of funny, right? So, you got somewhat more fantastical looking art and things in here. This is always a good one. I really like this, the mech kind of bulldog looking robot. This one right here, this model is my personal favorite just because he looks more like a robot than any of the other ones. So really cool stuff. Really, really cool. Let's go through here. Oh yeah, look at these. These are wild. These remind me a lot of like Metal Gear and all that. I mean, just the overall kind of graphic design of them and all that, just really cool. And there's a bunch of different, types and stuff like that. And then even just the soldier designs down here. I mean, you got this awesome looking soldier, obviously in futuristic armor and everything. But, look at it. He's got a katana. He's about to whip somebody's ass, about to cut somebody. So, really cool concepts. And you can take, little tidbits from everywhere. These are so cool. These are called the harm suits. And you got the Mark III, you got the Mark IV, and they just keep getting bigger and more insane as you go up in number. And then you've got the Mark V, which is just, I mean, come on, man. That's just stupid over the top, but I absolutely love it. I mean, you've got, what, like 3 Gatling guns down here with, with maybe laser guidance or whatever, and then you've got just this big, kind of be-all, end-all cannon. Just, just insane. Love it, love it, love it. You've got really cool, and even just something like this would give you some great ideas in terms of detailing right here. This is just kind of like a little head portrait of a mech. You can see, the hydraulics, and you can see, the rivets and screw points. You can see panel line design, raised kind of detail and things, even just sub-detail along the side of the head here. You can get so much inspiration from it. It's just super cool. Let's see what else here. And these are kind of, these are by Ian McHugh. Ian McHugh has a very kind of unique style, and I think I've mentioned Ian McHugh in the last book that I reviewed, Robot NV Zenith, I believe. I think we showed some pictures of his in that. So very, very distinct style. These are super cool. I mean, these kind of harken back to almost like a World War II inspired kind of walking mech. It's almost, looks like a like a World War II fighter, like a Spitfire or Mustang or something like that. I don't know my jets. I'm just throwing names out there, but you get my drift. So these things are all really cool. Just a bunch of them. That's cool. Basketball mech. Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see what else. Oh, I love it. All right, so you've got a basketball shooting mech shooting basketballs at the backboard while it looks like Mr. Henry here is trying to block said basketballs, but then the rest of his teammates running in horror. So that's kind of funny. I don't know, man. It's crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. So, yeah, just a bunch of different styles, and you can take inspiration, I mean, really from this whole book. You can just get lost in the details in this particular book. And like I said, this is only the first volume. That's wild. Look at that. That's cool. They've got 3 volumes published right now. The 4th is on its way. So, dude, yeah, this really, really cool book. And, yeah, so, and then it's got information on all of the different artists and things like that here. And they also have their website and some of the emails and stuff like that, too, which is pretty neat. You can go and check it out. Here's some other titles that are by Design Studio Press. There's one of Luca's books. I've seen this Drive book here. That's pretty interesting looking. I don't have that, but that's definitely on my personal list. And so, yeah. So, guys, Nothing But Mech. This is Volume 1. Pick it up on Amazon. Just click on the little link below the video in the description on Facebook and on YouTube right now, but then on Twitch a little bit later. So, awesome stuff. Really, really cool. All right, so guys, let's get to modeling, shall we? Let's check in with chat. Let's see who's doing what. Nothing doing too much on the Facebooks. Those guys keep quiet, don't they? Come on, Facebook, talk to me now. Just because I can't see in the, master chat doesn't mean that I'm not watching. I love you guys too. But man, all my boys on YouTube are definitely going at it. So let's check in with them. Gabriel Macias, love Neil Blomkamp. Let's see. Bailey, love that show. I think you were talking about Altered Carbon. That's just a dope ass show, man. Let's see. Mark 5 equals heavy arms much. Yeah, right? That definitely is. Let's see. Gamer Bud says, have mechs in basketball and I might actually watch it. Yeah, I know, right? Me too. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Over on Facebook, Jeremy Chisange. Jeremy, dude, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, man. I don't want to butcher your name, so I'm trying my best. He says, watching everything you do, bro. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Keep watching, man. Hope you're learning something. That's really, really cool. Let's see. Bro Builder, what's going on, buddy? All the way from Brooklyn. He says, only World War II jet that saw real service was the German Messerschmitt. It was rife with problems and hard to fuel. So now we know. That's awesome. Thank you, brother, for the history. That's really cool. You have Volume 2 sitting in the stash. Dude, good to see you streaming again. Well, absolutely. I mean, we took the weekend off. We're back. It's Monday. Schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern is the schedule. If you guys don't know, if you're watching for the first time or if you're seeing this on the replay, that's when Child of Mecha is on. Let's see. Saravan says, I'm betting all the chatty people moved over to YouTube. I think you might be right, dude. I think you might be one of the last holdouts over there on Twitch right now. But that's okay, man. Keep Twitch going. Keep it going. Love the people on Twitch. Alex Andrews says, sweet, lamps cooled down enough to use it again. Now to start the legs. Okay. I'm not sure what you were talking about, dude. I'm sorry. I wasn't following from before. But, man, it sounds like it's a win for you, man. So that's awesome. Cool. All right. let's jump over here. Let's show you what we did with the ankles. Let's get you zoomed in on real quick. We're zoomed out so we can look at a book. And let's get you zoomed all the way in here. All the way in. 105 millimeter zoom. Here's what we've got on the ankles so far. And let's get you an ankle, stock ankle, so you can see exactly what it looked like here from before, so you can kind of get a good comparison to what's what here. So here's the side profile. Oops, not on camera. Here are the side profiles there. Let's get you focused. And as you can see, this is the one that I added the minus mold to. This is the stock one. Look at how ugly that thing is, man. That is just a poor design on Bandai's part for such an amazing model. That right there, just that ugly bare cylinder looking thing. No. You can't do that, man. But I fixed it, so it's all good. And then, so here is the top or the fronts of the ankles, and you can see this one, you know, just bare, flat, ugly plastic. It's just not doing anything visually. So what I did was I put 0.5 millimeter thick by 1 millimeter wide strips on either side, and then I put a 2 millimeter by 1/4 millimeter thick strip in the middle, so it kind of creates a channel. And I think you can see the shadow there. You can see how it is stepped down there, and it's channeled, so it looks really kind of cool. Get some little glue residue out from the middle there. So I've got to trim that up. We're going to continue on that here just momentarily. But then on the back, as you can see, this is where the cool stuff is happening, obviously. Here you can see just the ugly, bare, boxy, nasty, just plain Jane plastic that, I mean, this whole ankle is just, I mean, come on, Bandai, you can do better than that, especially on a great model. So this is what I've started. I've got this side done. I need to continue it down on this side, but so basically, again, what I did here was I made kind of an H form out of 0.5 millimeter thick, 1 millimeter wide plastic strips. So one strip here, and then a teeny tiny piece right there. Then I took a 1/4 thick millimeter and then 2 millimeter wide strip, placed it very gingerly in the middle there, as to make sure it was properly centered and squared and all that, and then cut some 1/4 millimeter by 1 millimeter thick little strips and placed it there in the corners to make that kind of Y sort of shape. And I know that's kind of hard to see right now. Maybe we can catch a shadow on it. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. So it's definitely stepped. You know, the H form is raised more than the other parts. So I'm really digging that look. It looks really cool when it's assembled on the leg and everything too. So we're gonna continue down this way, and then what we might do is take this apart, clean it up, and even up the plastic strip on this guy. So let's get it started. Let's put our eyes on first, because that's important. Get locked and loaded right there, and let's dig into this thing, man. We're gonna need, let's see, we're going to pull down the 0.5 mil by 1 mil first. So we're gonna need that. I think this is 1/4 mil. Yeah, that's 1/4 mil. Always measure your strip, because, man, when you get into the difference between 1/4 millimeter and 0.5 millimeter, it's easy to pick up the wrong one, and then once you glue it down, I mean, there's not much hope after that. Then you've got to rip it off, start again. So this, I believe, is what we are searching for. So let's see, that 0.5 millimeter, that's exactly what we want. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut a couple strips, and we're just going to do, you know, just our normal strapping technique. Whoops. There we go. Just our normal strapping technique. I've already cut this to match the bevel of this angle here. So, and then what we'll do is we'll pop 2 little strips right there, and then we'll come back with the 1/4 millimeter by 2 millimeter and bring that down on the side as well. Make all that matchy-matchy. Matchy-matchy. All right, so we are going to need some strips, and what we want to do is we want to specifically overcut these strips, so we have hangover on both sides, so we can trim that properly with the knife once the glue is cured. You know, we don't want to do it right now because we want that to we want to make sure that that sticks properly. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of eyeball this right here, and let's see, I think, yeah, that'll work perfectly right there. So I'm just going to hold that mark with my hands, pop that with the good old nippers, and we're just going to kind of match the ends up here. We're going to do the same thing with another strip. There we go. All right, so now we've got 2 generally equal length plastic strips there. So now we're going to need our good friend, Mr. Tamiya Extra Thin, because that's how we're going to be affixing these strips. What are you guys doing over there? Let's see. Gamer Bud, you should watch Basquash. Basquash? Huh, I don't know what that is. But Chris says it's a combination of mech and basketball. Interesting. Sounds intriguing. It does. Sounds intriguing. Bailey's talking to Alex Andrews. Looks like, oh, nice. It got delivered already. Enjoying it, I hope. Cool. So it looks like Alex Andrews got a model. Maybe from Bailey. I don't know. Yeah, I am. Just got here before work started and all that. And it's all good. Blah, 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 blah. Awesome. And looks like Bailey just did an evergreen run today. Got 121, 123, 127, and 211. Oh, those are the item numbers. I have no idea what those are, but sounds like a good combination to me. Chris Wu, I think Bandai purposely nerfed down the detailing of the kits so to give you guys potential to customize. Yeah, I think that's probably a plausible assumption, and I'm not exactly mad at him for that. You know, I think I'm probably more disappointed for the average modeler, maybe just, you know, kind of your casual modeler, maybe your snapper or something like that. I mean, even a beginner that's just kind of getting into, you know, the hobby. You know, they see such an amazing kit, people raving about it, you know, people customizing it and all, making it look really, really cool. But then, you know, when they get it home and they put it together, there could be some disappointment. There could be some disappointment in that. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they might be hopefully doing that for us modelers. Who knows? Alex Andrews, once again, Master Grade Jesta. I was on about a few streams ago. Yeah, I know. Seems like you're always on, dude. Welcome back. Oh, man. Gamer Bud, sorry if I'm quiet. I'm deep in the real grade Zeta. And that's when you are getting deep in it, man, especially those real grades. And especially the Zeta since it transforms. Woo! And it's like putting together a small master grade with fiddly little parts. All right, so we're going to just get a little glue on this guy right here. I'm going to reel it back in, obviously, from the chat. And we are going to quickly apply it right here. We're going to check parallel. We're going to check parallel in a moment. Visor down. Let's see what we've got. That can be straighter. And let's see, that could be a little bit more parallel too. Now, one thing that I did to make measuring on this whole, one thing that I did to make measuring on this particular focus assembly, easier for me was, where is it? I used my little wave T-square. Here it is, underneath everything. I used the thickness of the ruler, this ruler blade here, as kind of a measuring piece, because there's a raised piece right here, and what I did was I just kind of put that right up against it, and then that's where I push the strip into. So this is equal distance all the way around. So now when I put, install this strip on here, all I have to really do is visor down and then make sure that this is nice and flush all the way around. And then we know it's pretty much parallel. And there we go. That looks pretty good. Let's go with that. All right, so now just to be on the safe side, what we're going to do is we're going to apply just a little bit of glue right here on the edges. Let's wipe that off a little bit more just to get most of it off. We just want a little bit just to penetrate any part of it that may not have been glued down all the way. We're also going to get this connection point here. We're going to make sure that's nice and slathered up with Tamiya Extra Thin, just to make sure that we have proper adhesion amongst all these parts. Now once that cures and dries, that's going to contract, and we'll be in good shape. So there she is. That's the first strip that we're going to lay down. Looking good. Looking good. All right. So now we got to do the second one. All right. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. So far liking the build. As a thickness gauge. Yeah. Basically, I was using the ruler kind of as a quick thickness gauge, because I knew I didn't want the strip butting right up to that raised detail, because you want variations in level, and just to make it look visually interesting. So by separating those, once this whole piece is primed and painted and everything, it's going to add a much deeper visual aesthetic appeal, and it's just going to look nice, I think, because you're going to hit shadows, you're going to hit highlights. It's just going to be more three-dimensional, more mechanical looking. So yeah, you go into this type of idea, wanting variation, because mechanics, internal mechanics on machines and things, man, they vary. They're not cookie cutter, and they're not smooth or even or anything like that. I mean, hell, just open your car hood, or bonnet, if that's what you happen to call it, and you'll see the car engine is kind of ugly. It can be beautiful, but it's also kind of ugly. At least on a stock, kind of car that you just drive off the parking lot. When you get into customizing, obviously you can pretty it up and stick some power in that car and stuff like that. And that's when it really kind of starts to look pretty. But yeah, when you first drive it off the lot, there's not much pretty about that. So, all right, so we're going to check the check parallel here. That looks about perfect. We're going to look at right down the line and make sure that's lined up with that strip properly. And I think we're just a little off. But now I think we're lined up. Cool. So what I like to do is take the flat side of the ruler here, and since this is steel, the Tamiya Extra Thin is not going to stick to this, and just kind of very evenly just push down on those strips just to start to squeeze out that Tamiya extra thin, and then, you know, just to be on the safe side, double check your parallel again, and should be good. So there we go. Now we've got our two kind of outline border strips, I guess you would say. So now we need the 2mm by 1/4 millimeter, and I think this is it. Let's see. I know it's 1/4 millimeter. Yep, that's the 2mm that we wanted. All right, so we are going to just kind of rough measure that here. Just kind of eyeball it, and then clip a little strip there with the nippers. Put that to the side, and just whoops, drop that right. So there's our 1/4 mil by 2mm strip. And let's see here. You guys are going off in the chat. What are you guys talking about here? Crazy. Let's see. The Half Site, welcome to the show. Thank you for watching. It looks like the Half Site just bought a high-grade Zaku 2 F2 for their first proper build. Not going to attempt anything crazy. Seam lines and custom paint. Hey, that's awesome, dude. You know, you got to start somewhere, right? That's cool. Cool. Oreo Side, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate that. And I like that name, Oreo Side. I think if I had, you know, to choose a way to die, it would have to be Oreo Side. Death by Oreos. There's nothing wrong with that, I think. Cool name. All right. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Let's see. Gamer Bud, I didn't know that the Zeta real grade can be troublesome to build and transform, and I had the high grade in my cart, but when I saw they had a real grade and how nice it looked, I could not help myself. Well, that is kind of the appeal of the real grades, man. They have crazy detail. Looks like Burkana just popped into the chat on Facebook. He says, "Oh man, I'm at work, but if you're still streaming when I get home, I'll jump on all the chats." Cool. Thank you, Big. Appreciate that, buddy. Have fun at work, I guess. Empty words, really. Let's see. Chris Wu says, what's Chris had to say? By the way, Basquash is a great anime. You should watch the trailer. Their mecha suit is very unique. That's the one with mechs and basketball that he mentioned earlier. Interesting. Alex Andrews, best Zeta from that I heard is the Gunpla Evolution one. I'm not in the high grades, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Let's see, Chris Wu, if you play often, stick to the high grade the best. Yeah, dude, there's so much you can do with high grades. It's just not my particular size of choice, but man, the variety and things that you can do with high grades is, yeah, it's pretty damn cool. And especially if you're just getting into it, man, it's a good scale to start out with, definitely. Let's see. Alex Andrews says, though, Josh's Zeta for his GBWC was cool. Yeah, man, that the Master Grade Zeta Plus that he did was just awesome, and that was his passion project. So, you know, we saw, you know, the pictures that you guys didn't, because, you know, through our Gunpla Talk chat and everything, all the guys on there, you know, we just kind of shoot the shit every day and talk to one another, and we're good friends and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of fun, and we get to see the pictures that you guys can't. So there's a fringe benefit to it as well. So it's fun. Let's see. What else are you guys talking about? Bailey, I've always liked the Zeta Pluses, but I won't approach the technical quality his has for a while. You know what, man? You don't have to. You don't have to. You know, what I always say to people is find your own unique style. You know, my style and Josh's style are similar, but man, there are some big differences. You know, he goes super technical while I do kind of keep that more somewhat aesthetic, you know, kind of look, creative, I guess. So, you know, there are definitely major differences between our two styles, but you know, I think we're more similar than not. So, but I love his work. I love Josh, man. He's a good dude too. Let's see. Bro Builder, that's a tight little revel you are creating there. Revel? I don't know. General Revel? Or Rezel? Maybe a reveal? I don't know, man. Alex Andrews wants Oreos now. Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. Awesome stuff. William Wilms. Welcome, William. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. All real grade are crazy to build. Very small, detailed master grades. Yeah, I always break the ball joint on the skirts when I build them. Man, yeah, that's tough, dude. That's a tough one. I'm not particularly too fond of real grades myself. They just kind of seem more trouble than they're worth, at least in my eyes. I don't know. Let's see, Chris Wu. My favorite Zeta is the Delta. Yeah, that's a direct cousin of the Zeta. So yeah, I like the Delta too, man. Especially the Wave Rider mode. That is a kick-ass design. So good call there. Excuse me. And Bailey says, and this is a good reminder, if anyone hasn't bought Josh Darrow's book on his Zeta Plus, get it. It's worth it. It so is. And the fact that you can basically pay what you want is just a super cool thing for him to do, you know? You can pay as little as $1 or as much as, I don't know, I think he's got crazy amounts on there, but that book is definitely one to have. And it's a PDF that you can just download. So you can put it on your phone and look at it. If you happen to ride the bus, or if you're just bored in a meeting at work or something like that, I don't know. You can just look at that, and zone out for a little while. So yeah, good call on that. Bro Builder, reveal my A key is shitty. Yeah, it is, but that's okay. I kind of got it. Backstep, Jesta is Besta. That's right. GamerBud, I have Oreos, but sadly they are the birthday cake ones, and they are way too sugary. Dude, what are you doing with birthday cake Oreos? Man, OG Oreos are nothing, man. Chris Wu, same here. I don't really like the inner frame as it feels so polycap material base that doesn't feel durable over time. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Kenneth Sim, welcome to the show. He says, morning guys, and the real great Sazabi is releasing soon. Gotta check out those details. Yeah, dude, that box is insanely big for a real grade. So hopefully it's good. Because I think Bandai just doesn't have a great track record when it comes to the Sazabi. If you remember the Sazabi Master Grade version 1, ugly, terrible, just not great. Maybe good for kit bashing. Parts and stuff, because I've definitely pulled some parts off of that to use in other projects. But man, yeah, not a great one. Let's see. William Wilm says, I am getting that book tonight so I can see what information I can take from it and put it towards the Master Grade Delta Plus I want to build. Awesome, good stuff. Bailey says, I prefer the good old Hayaku Shiki to the failed Delta plan. Yeah, the Hayaku Shiki, especially the 2.0 Master Grade, such a great kit, that one. I love that. I do love that kit. I've got something special for it. I've got it stripped. It's sitting over there, obviously, on the other side of the room, but I'm going to do some stuff on that. That's pretty damn cool. GamerBud, my sister bought them, and they are nasty. The birthday cake ones. Yeah, dude. Update from GamerBud. Leg 2 done. Bailey says, speaking of which, Tim, work on that stripped Shiki for your next session of streams. Dude, I want to, but I've got things on deck. I've got the Jesta, obviously, and then I definitely want to come back and finish come on. Finish this guy right here, the Spartan. I want to finish that because it's awesome and it's, man, it looks so good, right? Look at, and check this out. Watch this. This is cool. I took off the limiters, so now he can almost, if the head's on there, he can almost look straight down. Let's pull you back a little bit so you can see that articulation that I got. Look at that. That's some articulation right there, folks. And then whoop, right back into it, right? Back to normal. And then pull that up. And now he can almost look straight up too. Oh, there we go. Look at that. You can see inside the mechanical goodness in there and everything. So really easy to do, man. Bandai just puts limiters on, you know, their articulation, and you just got to find those, and you just got to kaput, make them go away. And then once that happens, you're gonna have a lot more articulation, and you can get some dope ass poses. Let's see here. Bro Builder reveal within design is a height differential aesthetic accent. Oh, you mean, okay. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Cool. Ricardo Silver Maverick is here. Ooh, got an update on those paints I told you about. They go on sale today. Sweet. Are they retail or are they like special through that magazine, dude? That's what I want to know. Chris Wu, so far the latest Zeta are the Delta Gundam Kai. Alex Andrews says this is for Sparta. 300 reference. I like it. Alex Andrews also says, dang, that ab crunch, right? What is it? 6 minute abs? I don't know. Bailey says, the limiters? I must know. I'm working on a master grade GM command. Yeah, there's just, you know, where they mold in a corner to the internal bending mechanism. If you round that off a little bit, and there's some other points where it stops the motion. If you sand those off internally, cut them off, what have you, nip them off, man, you can get crazy mid articulation and everything. Retail limited run. Interesting. Are they as limited as the 40th anniversary ones? I must know. Because I love the 40th anniversary colors. Those are wicked colors. I showed them on, I want to say the first stream or so. Bailey says, I'll take a look. Thanks. You're welcome, dude. You're welcome. Yeah, it's all internal. Just, you know, put the pieces together without some of the armor on and just, you know, kind of bend it and you'll see where the motion stops. So that's the best way I can describe it to you at this point without taking the Spartan apart and showing it to you. And that's a whole nother stream. All right, so let's get this thing done here. We're wasting time on this thing because I got some other stuff I want to show you guys. All right, we're gonna get some glue on this little guy here. All right, not too much, just enough, and then let's get this lined up here. Okay. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I am going to need this little strip of plastic right here. This is a 2mm by 1mm. So what I do is I put this on top and then kind of press down. Since this 1/4mm is below the border strips, you can't use the backside of the ruler to kind of get in there and check your work. Now, what I also like to do is just check parallel using the width of the T-square again. It's just a little out of alignment down at the bottom. But now She's straight as an arrow. Look at that. Sweet. Looking good. I like it. We're going to leave it like that. What I like to do is just kind of trim off these long pieces just real quick so nothing bangs into them or it doesn't, you know, get shifted or anything like that. And then the pieces, if they're still curing, will get thrown off of alignment. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. We're going to stay with that. Just kind of get that straighten out there at the bottom because I think it's shifted a little bit. So, and there we go. Well, I'm just gonna bring this down, just extend it because realistically, this this is the part that you're going to see the most. So that's where I wanted the attention to draw to. This side now, I've got just a tiny bit of detail I want to add on this. And we're not going to add actually plastic. We're going to add some scribing to it. Let's see what is going on in the chat because you guys are going crazy, dude. Cool. Let's see. Classic top of the head angle. Yeah, I know, right? There we go. Nice. Gotcha. Sometimes you get that. You know, can't be helped sometimes, man. Let's see. Really surprised with how much movement the neck has on the Master Grade Jester for just being a single ball joint. Yeah, dude. I know, right? This thing does have some good... Look at that. It just got some good range of motion. I think it's the height of the neck. I mean, look, for you guys at home. Yeah. That's some good articulation. And then in the down position, I mean, he can look down pretty good amount. And I'm sure, yeah, you could probably, I wanted just the head to come off here. There we go. And so the limiter on this is this round part. This round part right here is the limiter. Forward anyways. The back, this is the limiter. You don't really want to cut that off because that would just make it look weird. But if you wanted more downward head movement, what I would probably do is just kind of, you know, grind this part back a little bit, and then it can look down a lot more. Now, the potential problem that you may run into is when the head is in the up position. But, I mean, you're going to have to look at it from a very, very low angle to see up there, to see that you're almost going to have to look at it from the bottom. I mean, it's right there, and you're never going to see it. So, I mean, even if you grind that back a little bit, you're going to get more downward head movement, which is usually good for a nice kind of aggressive stance. You know, just kind of kind of standing there, just Billy Badass pose. So, food for thought. Food for thought. All right, let's get back to this little ankle guy. We're going to take our 0.15 millimeter chisel, like we always do. And let's see who else is watching. Some people talking over there. Let's see. Chris Wu says, by the way, if you run out of ideas, just idea design, just refer to Kotobukiya frame arms. They have plenty of cool designs. Yes, frame arms are really cool, man. I've got the frame arms art book that Kotobukiya put out, and that thing's really cool. That thing's really cool. I'll have to show you guys that one time. This week's going to be dedicated to the Nothing But Mech series. I'm going to show you 1, 2, and 3 this week, but maybe next week I'll show you the frame arms book. That's a import-only book, so you can't get it from Amazon, unfortunately. But you can get it places like, HLJ, Hobby Search, places like that. Let's see what else. Alex Andrews says, really surprised with how much movement the neck. I just read that. Sorry, never mind. Radical Hair. Hello, Radical Hair. Welcome to the show. Thank you for watching. Watching while finishing up a contest entry. There's such a lack of good custom Gunpla content on video. I agree, and I'm hoping to change that. So thank you for watching, man. I appreciate that. Radical Hair also says, great stuff, man. Thank you. That's awesome. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel really good. And especially you guys coming back, all you guys in the chat, you know, talking with one another, talking to me, interacting, making the most of it. Dude, thank you. That's awesome. From the bottom of my heart. Let's see what's going on over there in on Facebook land. Natsarut Siravek. I hope I'm saying that right, sir. I really do. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. He says, is that the Jesta? It is, which Jeremy already chimed in and said. Thank you, Jeremy, for the assist. I appreciate it. Kenneth Sim, how often, Tim, using magnet for adding parts on details? Great question. I honestly don't use magnets all that much. I probably should more. But, you know, the way I make my particular models, my projects and things, you know, I tend to make them permanent. So I thought about using magnets for the Spartan. And the more I looked at the Spartan and the more I referred back to the line art and things and looked at the model, I just decided that was not feasible because the line art is so different in proportion and design to the model that it wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have worked. You know, I've got the new Master Grade, the P Bandai Stormbringer. I've got that on pre-order through Burkana over at It's a Gundam Sales, so check him out. Very good dude. He got it pre-ordered for me, so I'm waiting on that. And they changed up the chest piece on it to look more and more like the Spartan. There are some details that they took directly from the Spartan design and they put into that. Now, if I was a betting man, I would predict that we would probably get a GM Spartan sometime in the future. That's my bet. Because there are some other design cues on the Gundam Stormbringer, and then also that that GM, the one that I think Naoki designed, the green one with the single wing antenna. That one looked dope. I would have bought 4 of those if they actually made that into a kit. There are some design cues on that even more closely resembled the GM Spartan artwork, especially in the head, because on the head of the Master Grade GM Sniper 2, it's just kind of one smooth sweeping shape on the head. It's more like a helmet. But in reality, the GM Spartan uses more of a design from a GMC, so it actually has a mohawk. Well, on the GM, I forget, Dominance or whatever, Marcus ACM, thank you for the follow, sir, on Twitch. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching, too, by the way. Welcome to the family. The Turbine, Turbulence, I don't know what it's called, one of those. Either Bailey or Ricardo is right. But that one, the one that they're talking about, that's dope. Green, awesome, just kick-ass design. That one actually has a mohawk. Now, who knows if that's going to be released as a P Bandai or, you know, hopefully as a wide release kit of an actual, you know, good thing like that. But we can only hope right now, right? So, wait and see. But there are many design cues on that does harken back to the GM Spartan a lot. When I looked at that, I'm like, oh, dude, they got to make it Spartan now. They've got all the parts. Why wouldn't you? It's just a super cool design. So there you go. Alex Andrews, Tim, do you know of any LEDs that are easy to use, like the Bandai ones, that would fit the Jesta? Yes, I do. HiQ, the company that makes amazing decals and awesome metal parts, have pre-built little LED assemblies and wiring harnesses, or whatever you call them. They have little battery boxes for little watch batteries and everything, and you wire them up, and they come semi pre-wired, I guess. But you kind of put the components together as you need, and it just looks super easy. So that's what I would suggest. Take a look at places like listen to me, Hobby Search. Hobby Search, I know for a fact, carried them last time I saw. But yeah, check out HiQ, Hi-Q, for their LED accessories. So yeah, there you go. Let's see what else. Cannon fodder, I guess. GM always has underdog potential. This is from Chris Wu. To shine. That's why I like to mod GMs. Yeah, GMs are awesome to mod, dude. Kenneth Sim says wishing for a GM sniper custom Verka, but seem probably won't happen. Yeah, and I think the GM sniper 2 right now, as we have it, is a wonderful model. Very, very solid, very strong design. So I don't. As much as I like Verkas, I don't think it needs it. I think we're good with what we've got. Would love a standard. Alex Andrews says would love a standard release GM Striker. That would be cool too. That would be cool. Chris Rue, the question why Bandai doesn't release the Jesta Echoas. I mean, I could see it as a P Bandai. You know, I wish they would have released the Jesta Cannon as a mass release. That was disappointing. Getting it as P Bandai. That was the only, I think looking back at it, there's very few P Bandais that I was kind of salty on. That was one of them. I was, because I like the Jesta. And I like the Jesta, cannon as well, because, man, think about what you could do with that, extra armor, and the forearm kind of piece that, it's almost like a pad almost. It just looked super cool. So I really like that. I wish it was a wide release, but, I don't want to complain too much because I don't want to be one of those guys, you know what I mean? But, it is what it is. We can all kind of dream and hope. All right, so what I'm going to do here, hopefully you guys don't get the back of the head treatment again. I'm going to try to avoid that as much as I can because I know how you guys love that. And I'm holding my chisel upside down. Just going to run a quick panel line down the border piece just to give a little depth. Need to get some of this residual glue out of here first, though. There we go. Now we're getting it. Now we don't want to go too deep. We just want that panel line to show. And I think we're going to be good right there with that. Maybe clean that up just a little bit in here because there's a little wobble right there. You know what? We're going to go all the way through this piece because it's just not working with me right now. It's not cooperating. There we go. All right. So now we've got that panel line in. And now what we're going to do is do the same thing to the other side. Wipe away the plastic shavings there from the scribe. Now, I don't know if you're picking this, if you guys are picking this up on the mic, but this thing is skipping. And what I always say is when it skips, when it doesn't have a nice smooth sound, turn it around, do it from the other side, and that will start to smooth that panel line out. Yep, there we go. Like clockwork. Good and smooth, good and smooth. And we're getting those nice shavings off that you should be seeing when you're scribing, because if you're not getting some nice shavings, that panel line is probably not going to be the smoothest at the bottom. You want that to be nice and smooth so that the panel line wash or ink or whatever you happen to use when you go to do that, you want to give it the least resistance possible so it flows that much easier. So you don't have to flood it with panel line wash. That could be bad, especially if you use like Tamiya's panel line wash, which is enamel based. If you use too much of that, if you have not covered kind of every little bit of your model with primer or paint, there is a small chance that it could puddle and it can make your plastic brittle. Especially the guys that do Star Wars kits, the Bandai Star Wars kits, have reported major problems with that. And I don't know why. it doesn't make really much sense why that plastic is different from, you know, the Gundam plastic. I think the Gundam plastic seems more resilient to that, you know, enamel. But just something about the Star Wars plastic. I don't know. Maybe Ricardo knows, because he you know, he's over there with those guys in Japan. So I don't know. Ricardo, do you know? I don't know. I mean, I've heard bits and pieces from Xavier at Bluefin, but nothing concrete. So, you know, things to think about. Things to think about. All right, so let's see. We're going to make sure this panel line is nice and done, even, smooth, the whole 9 yards. And then there we go. Let's see there. Focus up. See, and there you go. You got some nice panel lines there to make it look a little bit more separated. What we're also going to do now is we're going to make a cross scribe on that. So I'm going to need, what is that, 2 millimeter wide? Yep. I'm going to need this guy right here. And let's make sure that this is square, this piece. Yep, cool, nice and square. All right, so what I'm going to do, since this strip right here is 2 millimeters wide, and this channel is 2 millimeters wide, I'm going to use this and just kind of run this down, the middle, and that's going to be my scribing point. So let's measure some distance here, because I want this to be somewhat visible. So I'm going to go just, so there's a kind of a panel, molded in panel separation right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just above that a bit, because I think that'll look visually interesting. Now, this is a little tight for 2 millimeters, but come on, get in there. Might have to shave off the front, because I think that front has gotten a little wonky over time. So I just chopped it with the chopper to get it squared up and everything. And now, she's still not going in. You know what? Not a problem, because we can just hold it there and use that. All right, so that's essentially what we've got going on. It's just a 2 millimeter strip just sitting there, and I'm holding it with my thumb, right? So all I want to do is I want to use that as a guide, and I'm just going to make a quick cross, you know, perpendicular scribe here into that plastic strip real quick, and I'm just going to start, you know, getting that in there, getting that that trench, that scribe in there, and then we can, you know, pull that away, and then we can start to go to town and deepen it up. Now, you want to clean out the sides every now and then, so you don't ruin the one side of that scribe. You want to make sure that's also nice and clean. Let's see, what are you guys talking about? Wanted the MG Polypod ball as a regular release. Did you? That was a little weird. I don't know about that one. It was interesting, but it was kind of weird. Surprised the Hama Hama RE kit wasn't P Bandai. They made a okay. Brain fart, the RE kit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the RE kits are, you know, I think from inception, the line where they make, you know, kind of more lesser known designs and stuff. I think that's why the Nightingale kind of got the nod there, the GPO3 especially. You know, those things aren't necessarily, you know, actual canon in terms of the stories and stuff, but they still are fan favorites. So I think that's what you know, series, that line is more for. So the Hama Hama actually, I think, kind of fits in that particular line of models, because you know, it's not necessarily the first thing you think about when you think about you know, kind of your villain mechs, if you will. Okay, so there we go. let's get you focused. And see, there's just that little cross scribe right there. Just adds a little bit of visual interest. Plain and simple. And sometimes that's all you need. That's all you need sometimes. Because what ankle would you rather have? Right? Me personally, I like this one a lot better than this one. So we're going to throw that off to the side. We're going to keep this one. I'm going to let these dry. I'm going to let this glue cure. So we're going to put this off to the side over on the little drying ledge here that I have. And we're going to let that glue cure. And we're going to put the 0.15 cap back on. Chisel discipline, by the way. Always exhibit that. And let's pull the other part, the other leg over here. So let's get you zoomed out just a bit. There we go. So there's the leg. Looking really good. Now, what I did yesterday was added these kind of strips here along the front of the ankle, and scribed a few panel lines in here. Let me show you those. Let me get you zoomed in because I did this over the weekend. Now, might be a little difficult to see based on the color of the plastic, but you can, okay, so you can see a little bit there how I separated this front kind of spur, you know, scribed a panel line in there and separated that, and then this part here did the same exact thing. So that's going to look really nice and separated from the overall piece because, you know, in my opinion, it just kind of looked, it was a weird kind of look for that. But here's the finished side. This piece is pretty much done right now. And you can see how those panel lines, you know, kind of complement the overall look. You can see those notches on, you know, this big raised piece right here with the panel line and everything. Looks really good, I think. I tend to like that a lot. So overall, this leg is getting very, very close to being done. The last thing is on those spurs. So I want to do something with those, and I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. Let me get these armor pieces off here. So right here, these kind of spurs that I scribed panel lines for to make it look separated. They have this kind of end panel right here that I just want to do something with. I want to do something, but I don't want to add on to it, and I don't necessarily want to just leave it bare. So what I'm thinking is to scribe in and kind of sculpt in some vents there. And I'm going to show you how to do that. This is a little bit more kind of an advanced technique. I used this on the Ozymandias on the chest of the Ozzy. And it came out really good. I really liked the way that it looked. So, and I also used it on the side skirts too. There are side vents on both of the skirts on the outside, and that's just scribed in, you know, plastic sculpting, if you will. So, all right, let's get focused on that. So, what I'm talking about is this panel right here. This just flat piece that goes up into the knee portion, and it's just bare. And I think it's ugly, and I don't like it. So we're going to change it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this shape transferred to Scotch tape, to sticky tape, basically. Now, the hard part right now is I have to find my Scotch tape. That's double-sided tape. I don't want that. I know this is really interesting to watch, by the way. Sorry about that. Nope, not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Ah! It was hiding on me. It was hiding on me. There we go. Yes, I do, Alex. Alex Andrews says, you need a storage system, don't you, Tim? Dude, I do. You can kind of see, this is right here, and it's right off camera. This is just half of the shelving that I have on this table, so this is just kind of one portion of my shelving here. There's a whole nother half that's off the camera that you can't see, and it still doesn't do any good. I can organize until the cows come home, but it's just not going to help. I'm a messy builder. What can I say, man? So, but I found it. That's the cool part. Let's get to work on it here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull a teeny tiny itty bitty piece of tape off here. And, you know, like I said, this is just your normal Scotch tape. This is, you know, obviously the frosty kind. This is not the, you know, super glossy, you know, gift wrapping kind. This is your all around, just general Scotch tape. Pretty much available in most countries, I'd say. If not by the Scotch brand, you're probably going to have at least some sort of generic brand that you can get in your own particular country. So look for that. Very useful. So what we're going to do is, if I can hold this piece, we're going to take this piece here, and I'm just going to put the Scotch tape right on top of that piece, and we're just going to make sure that it's nice and flushed down. And obviously we don't need this whole big piece, so I'm just going to cut off the excess on here, and we're just going to rip that off. So now we're just left with, come on, focus camera, killing me. We're just left with this, you know, piece of Scotch tape here. So now what we can do is we are going to transfer the shape to the Scotch tape, and we're just going to do that with a pencil, and we're going to very lightly just kind of sketch the outline of this piece through the tape. We're going to go very gingerly and be as accurate as possible, because accuracy will help us in the long run. Alright, one last side here. Alright, cool. And let's see. Let's get a little bit of styrene so I can show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so there is the outline of that particular surface. That's exactly what we need, and that's what we're going to work with, right? Sha. And there she is. So that's what we need. So what we're going to do, first and foremost, is we've got to cut this down, because that's the outside perimeter of that surface. We don't want to cut the entire surface. We don't want to sculpt in the entire surface. We want to essentially make an outline of what our vent needs to look like. So I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of rough eyeball like a 0.5 millimeter. And you can just kind of draw a second pencil line, and that'll usually do the trick. It'd be good if I was on camera, wouldn't it? Sorry about that, guys. We're just gonna draw the thickness of that on 3 sides, because we're gonna have that vent run off this you know, this side here. So we only need to trim off these 3 sides. So with that, we need to, I like to use the chisel blade here, because it's nice and straight. You can go straight down and trim exactly what you need off of this particular piece. So nice and careful. Just try to line it up as best we can. And that tape is slipping on me a little bit. There we go. We're just going to push down, make sure that cuts the tape, and you'll hear it kind of go through the tape. It'll kind of make a almost like a little snapping sound. So that's exactly what we want. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. Line that up properly. There we go. And last but not least, we're going to do the top here, and we are going to get the inside perimeter of our vent. All right, cool. So we've trimmed this piece of Scotch tape down. So what we're going to do with it, we're going to very, very carefully, actually, we need to trim off this side right here. We're just going to trim it right on the outside of the border so we can have that full, nice width. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to very, very carefully pull this shape up from the plastic strip that we've put it on. So, and I'm just moving border pieces of tape out of the way so I can grab this inside shape that we need. All right, so there's our inside shape. This is the shape that will become our stencil that we're going to work off of. So what I need next is a good old piece of Dymo tape, because that's what our stencil is going to be made from. And since this piece is so small, we're going to get one of our little scraps here, and we're going to work with that. Now, since I'm holding the little piece of tape with my one set of tweezers, I'm going to need to pull out my other kind of brand newish set to get the piece of Dymo tape out here. So let's try to find a piece that will work for us here. And I think this piece right here will be a perfect size for what we're doing. All right, so what we need to do is we're going to turn this over on its back. Stick with me. Stick with me. This is where it gets interesting. So we're going to apply this piece of Scotch tape down on here, and we want to be super careful not to wipe off any of the pencil lines, because that's going to still help us to see kind of where we're cutting with this. Now, we want to do the same thing that we did on this Dymo tape that we did with the piece of Scotch tape before. Okay, so chisel blade again, and we're going to cut the outside outside perimeter of this piece. We're going to make sure that Scotch tape is nice and adhered to on the back side of this Dymo tape, so it doesn't go moving or migrating on us. So, pardon the top of the head. I got to see what I'm doing here. And we want to make sure we're all the way through this Dymo tape, because that's important. That is crucial to this. You want to work all the way around, trimming that Dymo tape up. Okay, one last side to trim up, and we'll have our stencil. Okay, and there we go. So now, let me switch that back over here. Let me get these little pieces out of the way so you don't get confused of what we're working on here. All right, so there, right there, there's our stencil. This is our scribing stencil. This is what we're going to use to make the border of our vent. Okay, so what we did before is we took the shape on this piece, but what we've actually done is made a stencil for the opposite piece. Now we've got to check to see if our stencil is the correct shape. We might have to do some trimming because just based off of the variance in the pencil shape that we drew, it could need some trimming and some shaping still. So, but we're going to just kind of hold it up and take a look-see. You know what? I think I got the wrong piece. I think I spoke backwards, actually. Yeah, I did. Sorry about that, guys. So, okay, so we're just going to kind of lay our piece on here real quick and kind of gauge it up and see what this looks like, because I think we definitely will be trimming this a little bit. Let me take a look at it a little bit closer here. Yeah, definitely. Two sides are pretty good. I think we're going to need to shave off a little hair on the outside, but this top piece is not anywhere near the angle that it needs to be. So while it's sitting here, let me try to gauge up. So that should be good for that angle. Now I said just a few seconds ago we need to take off a little bit from this outside piece here. So I'm going to shave off just a super small amount here. This is precision, guys. Like I said, this is a little bit more advanced, but the results are very nice. And I keep knocking into my strip plastic over here. Move that out of the way. All right. So now, let's take a look at this one more time, match it up to the piece, and see what we have. I think that's a winner. Let's check the angles. You know what? Nope. We got to trim that top piece just a little bit more. We just got to flatten it out just a little bit. We took a little bit too much angle off on that. And this is normal. This is a normal procedure for mocking up stencils like this. So, and like the adage says, measure twice, cut once. So by doing this, we make sure we have the proper stencil. Why is it unfocused? That's weird, isn't it? There we go. All right, cool. Let's see. And let's get the visor down here and see what's what. And that's a winner. All right, cool. So now we have a stencil for that. We have a stencil for this piece. Now we need a stencil for that piece. So what do we do? Anybody? Any ideas? No? Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you asked. So what we need is we need another piece of scrap Dymo, and we are going to transfer this stencil to that new scrap piece. And I'll show you how to do it momentarily. So I think this is a good width here. Let's double check. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to flip that piece over on its back, right? Copy paste. Yeah. Bailey, flip it over. Good. Good. All right. So we are going to strip the backing off of this piece. Ever so carefully. Grab that with the tweezers. yank that backing piece off of there carefully, and we're going to stick it to the back of this new scrap piece here. Very, very carefully. Try to get it lined up at least on one side. That way it makes your cutting a lot easier. And let's see, try to get that parallel as much as possible here. It's a little out of whack. We're going to push that to the side just a little bit more. Perfect. There. Okay, cool. So now we've just got to trim the 3 sides of this thing to get a perfect reflection of that stencil. So a perfect mirrored copy of this stencil for the opposite piece. You want to be, pretty careful with this because you can, there may be a tendency to accidentally push a little bit too hard onto the stencil, trying to get it lined up. You just kind of want to let the hobby knife sit right up on the edge and pop that piece off of there. There we go. So now there is your perfect copy of your stencil. Bada boom, bada bing. So now what we got to do is we got to pry these 2 apart. Not too hard. Just use a nice sharp hobby knife and just kind of dig in the middle. It'll eventually start to come apart. It's easier on the edges. And whatever part comes away from the backing material first, that's the first part you're going to put down. Oh, look at that. Fenrir X4. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching, too. That was awesome. All right. Bailey says, I'm a teacher. Remember, you got to count to 10 in your head to give your students a chance to respond. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not a teacher, so I don't think of these things. All right, so we're going to be really, really careful with this other piece of stencil there. We need to make sure that this doesn't go floating away because it can very easily go floating away. So now we've got to, this is the other piece. There we go. Okay, cool. So now let's swing the tweezers around on this side to make it easier to apply on here. So a lot of work so far just to get a simple stencil. But this is kind of where the quality comes in, guys. This is not something that, everybody's going to be able to do straight off the bat. This is going to take practice, and if you get this, man, your models are going to be very, very unique compared to anyone else's, simply because your particular vent design is going to be unique from everybody else's. Let's make sure we're aligned properly. We need to push that up just a little bit. Come on. There we go. All right, cool. Let's make sure that's nice and flush with that. All right, so there's our applied stencil with a nice outline, with a nice probably 3/4 millimeter empty area around it, looking pretty good. So now it's time to actually start to chisel. So 0.15 again, we're going to go with that. That's going to be our border. Visor down, and let's get to scribing. You want to be super careful with this stencil because since it has a very small adhesion footprint, it will have a tendency to wander on you if you push too hard against it. So you want to be really, really careful. Just very gingerly, very lightly start to scribe your outline. This is probably the most crucial part because this outline, this border of your vent, dictates every step that's after this. So Oh, okay, James, what's going on, man? Fenrir X4, James, or Spider2K, who's also one of the admins over on It's a Gundam Facebook group. So, thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it, buddy. It's awesome. Awesome stuff. All right, so guys, remember, when you are scribing, you want to let the chisel do the work. It's crucial, absolutely crucial, especially in something as small as this detail is, because that stencil will wander on you, will migrate, will move, if you're not super duper careful. All right, we're going to spin this around here. Go from the other side. Okay. All right, so we've got a good starting scribe on here. So now we can pull this stencil off, and we can just kind of toss it. I don't know, drop somewhere. Whatever, we don't need it. So we're just going to finish up the scribe on this border here. We're going to make this panel line pretty nice and deep. We want this to catch all the shadows and also be really distinct. Let's see. Whoa, hey now. Spider2K2, thank you for a sub on YouTube over there, buddy. Appreciate it. Man, I'm subscribed. You know, I'm honestly very surprised that you guys are still tuned in. Because this, I don't know if I'd want to watch something like this. Maybe you guys are just glued to your seats. I don't know. Maybe you guys are interested in this. Whoop. Q-Sing Style. K-U Sing Style. I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you for watching too. All right. So here, let's see if I can get focused and if I can catch the highlight on this. There is the panel line now. There you go. That's the border for that vent piece. Pretty good. Pretty good. That's exactly where I want it to be. It's the exact shape that I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with this vent. I'm going to wait off on the other vent. So I'm going to put this secondary stencil off to the side here where I will not lose it. Right over there on the drying ledge here. And we're going to go to town on this thing. So this is where the sculpting really comes into play. That all the stuff before, lining, you know, getting the stencil made, lining up the stencil, trimming it, and getting the transfer of the shape and everything like that. That's all the foundation steps to this. This is time intensive. There's no getting around that, but it is super custom, and it is advanced for you guys. So this is, you know, this is pretty real deal right here. This is what I do on my models to make them very, very unique. So this is fun stuff for me, man. All right, let's see. Ricardo's keeping himself busy, working on a 1/100 Zeta 2 B Club resin kit. Damn, nice. That's awesome. B Club too, original, old school, sweet, very cool, very cool. Let's see. I'm getting, Bailey says, I'm getting in some scribing too. It's very inspirational. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Gamer Bud says, I learn better by watching over reading or listening. So this is the perfect medium for me to absorb information the best. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are liking this. That's cool for me. You never really know if people are digging it or not unless they say they're digging it. So just from the way that, people are still watching, I guess you guys are digging it. I mean, hell, there's 23 of you on YouTube, 4 on Twitch right now, so maybe you like it. I don't know. Maybe you're just looking at some idiot on stream making a fool of himself. I don't know. But hey, we're going to continue on. Let's do this. So we've got our border here. Now we want to get a little bit crazy. We want to start to flesh out that vent styling, right? So Rick Slaw 2, digging it. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for watching, too. So we're going to grab a few different chisels. Oh, let's see. What shall we get? I definitely want the 0.3. That's a definite. And we're going to need the 0.15. So we're good there. Let's see. I think maybe. Yeah, that might be good. We're going to pull out the big old 1.5 here for you guys, the big mammoth jamma. Kind of the big boy in this arsenal. Now, not the biggest, obviously. Biggest is the nasty 3.0. That guy's wicked. I don't use him a lot. But when I need it, this 3mm chisel, this comes in super handy. Really does. We're going to use this big old 1.5 here. And what we're going to do is we're going to recess this vent just a little bit. So basically what we're going to do is you're going to shave that surface inside the border. We're going to shave that down. Let's make sure this thing's nice and tight. We don't want this chisel slipping on us here. We're going to shave this down to bring down some of the height so it's not an even height with the rest of that surface. Oh, look at that. Look, Young Kung Lu, thank you for the sub. That's awesome. Thank you for watching as well, and I really hope I pronounced your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. My apologies. My sincere apologies. So, that's awesome. Thank you. Let's see what else. Gabriel Macias says, digging it. Hey, man, it's the second digging it. Cool. Everybody digs it. I dig it. Spider2K2, Mr. Jimmy always says, let's see, I'll admit I'm snap building the third-party MB style red frame, working on the backpack and weapons since I've already finished the MS a while back. Cool. GamerBud says, where YouTube videos are nice and all, YouTubers tend to cut down and take content out to fit a timetable. With live streams, nothing is cut out, and I can ask questions on the spot. That's true. That's very true. And GamerBud continues, says, and not have to wait hours to days for a response. That is, if they read the comments. Yeah, YouTube comments are tough because we don't, as creators, we don't get, the notifications regularly. I know Zach, he gets bombarded with comments, but he doesn't get, those notifications. So yeah, it could be days before he actually sees them if he's not, checking the comments on every video. And then, with him making 1,000+ videos, I mean, it's hard to keep track of comments on all those videos. So yeah, it's a bit tough, especially the commenting system on YouTube. I wish they had a little bit better of a excuse me. I wish they had a better notification system than what they have now. Facebook's notification system for people with pages, I think is pretty good. They give you a little notification up in the corner and everything. But yeah, YouTube's notification system is kind of, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right, here we go. Let's get on it. Let's get it on. All right, so what we're going to do first, I'm going to tell you right now, this is where you need to be careful. Because if you slip on this, it's going to be sadness. Okay, so we need to go super slow at first. We need to kind of establish the perimeter on this a lot better initially, I should say, and we're just gonna be real ginger with it. We're just gonna nibble up to the edge of it. Thankfully, now we've got a little leeway since we chiseled in that border scribe, but it's only 0.15 millimeter, so it's not the thickest of tolerances that you get to work with, you know? This is so far is going smooth. My only worry right now is this sharp point up here. I have to go at a weird angle. Okay, now, we've only done a little bit, but you should start to, if I was on camera, that is, you should start to feel a height difference in the part that you've started to shave. Here we focus. You should start to feel a height difference in the shaved part compared to the outline, the border part, okay? So you're just going to keep at it. This is a slow process, guys. This does not, it doesn't, you know, you don't just gouge your chisel in there and expect it to just kind of come out magically. It ain't going to happen. You're going to take very smooth shavings off of this, and you're going to work it down. You're going to just kind of nibble the plastic away, essentially from this piece to, you know, get a height difference. And then also, too, you want to make sure that your chisel surface, your scraping surface, or the blade or whatever, is, you know, perfectly level to the surface of the plastic that you're clearing out. Because if it's not, you're going to get some nasty differences in height. You're going to get, you know, kind of angles scratched into your surface. It's just going to be a pain in the butt to try and clean. But once you've got a decent height difference, then you can use the border as your guide. You don't have to worry about over scraping it or anything like that. You can use that as basically it's almost like your dymo tape, your guide tape. You just kind of ride along that border with the side of your chisel and get really nice, you know, plastic clearance and stuff. So just got to work at it. Just got to take a little bit off at a time and just keep going at it. And this stuff, it'll start to clear away pretty quickly, but it's a time-consuming process. No getting around it. So let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, look at that. Young Kong Lu. God, I hope I'm saying that right. It's all right. Love your video. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. That's awesome. I love hearing that. Gamerbud. I've talked to Zach before, but always through Twitter, and I have always got a response within the hour. Yeah, he's good. He's usually good with that, especially on Twitter. He's usually pretty active on that. I'm not. I'm not a big fan of Twitter. I don't know. Twitter's just kind of weird to me. Always helpful in his responses. Absolutely. Yeah, Zach's a good guy. Gamerbud also says, I have yet to meet someone in this community that isn't helpful or not nice. Seeing the love and kindness in this community keeps me wanting to ask and learn more. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's some bad apples. You know, I mean, some people don't like me. You know, some people don't like Zach. Some people, you know, sometimes people just don't get along for some reason. Sometimes a person irks you the wrong way. I don't know. It could be just something stupid and simple and trivial. But, you know, there's always a few. There's always a few. But, you know, for me, I just, you know, I try to put my best foot forward, so to speak. All right. So this is looking pretty damn good so far. Now, one thing that you're going to have to be careful with, and I'm going to go back and kind of fix this. This side, since we're pulling this way, this side now is starting to get a little rounded over. Not a big deal, because once you've got kind of this border and once it's established height-wise, you can go back and go perpendicular and start to level that out more. So we'll do that here in a second. But I want to try to get a little bit more work down on this upper angle part real quick before we start in on that, because it's not where I want it to be just yet. It's getting there. It's getting there. Very close. Okay. I think that does it. Cool. Yep. All right. So now we've got, let's see, I think that's probably around 1/4 millimeter down from the original height. So we're going to kind of depth gauge this with a 1/4 millimeter strip here, and just to see, that might be a little bit less, but it's still noticeable. Yeah, it's a little bit less, so it's probably 0.1 millimeter, I'd say right now. But we're going to work it down a little bit more. We're going to go, we're going to start perpendicular on this and really get to work on it. So we're going to use the border as our scribing guide. That's going to keep us nice and straight. Now, you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's chirping on me. It's going, and skipping a little bit. So that surface is not going to be very smooth. So spin it around, start it from the other side again. And we hopefully it will smooth out. Yeah, cool. So I don't know if you guys can hear that at home, but it's a nice smooth sound, and you can actually see it's just a baby butt smooth surface right now. All right. Now we've got a lot more worked out there, so that's good. Oh yeah. This is looking good, guys. I'm happy with this. Very happy with this. Just clean up some of the edges here real quick. Okay. And you want that inside surface to be as flat as possible and as smooth as possible, because we are going to make that into, obviously, the vent, but it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, because we're gonna cut vent openings into this thing, or scribe them in, I should say. So it's not a big deal if it's perfectly smooth or not. But what I'm going to do next is just kind of go back in, clean up this border a bit again, because it's gotten filled with, plastic shavings and stuff, just debris from that scraping procedure. So we're going to come back in, clean that up, get a little bit more clarity in that border scribe here, because that's still very important to us. We still want to see that, and I'll show you why here in a moment. Okay. All right, so let's see if this will focus for me. All right, so there you go. Let's see if we can catch a shadow or a light highlight there. Ah, there you go. So you've got that surface, that inner surface being recessed from the border around it, right? So let's do something real quick. Where's the leg? Here it is. Let's show you what this looks like actually on the piece, so you can kind of get an idea of where we're going with this. All right, so right there. See, that's what it's looking like right there. So this is where we want this vent to be. We've got a nice big vent down here, but we also are going to allow for a nice little vent right here. This little piece, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything with that just because I dig that piece sticking up here, because it's almost like, you know, it's a natural part of that kind of upper lower leg armor. But this piece always bugged me because it kind of, you know, notched into the knee, and it just seemed weird to me, you know. So that's what it looks like. That's the beginnings of what we're going to accomplish here. So looking pretty good so far. I dig it. So let's pop that off there. And now what we are going to do, start to get our vent shaped up and looking good. First, I need to just clean out a little bit more on this border piece. Clean that off. Make sure our depth is good on the thickness of the plastic, because if you scribe too much or you remove too much, that plastic gets super thin, and then it will fail on you. So it's not what you wanted. It's not what you want to have happen. Let's check over on Facebook, see if those guys are doing anything. You guys doing anything? Or are you just sitting there? Yeah, you're just sitting there. It's all good. Having fun. Rock and roll. Quiet Booch. Quiet Bunch, that Facebook group. Man, my talkers are over there on YouTube. You guys are nuts. All right. So now, this is where the sculpting comes into play. We are going to now take our hobby knife, and we're actually going to bevel the inside of that surface. So check it out here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put the tip of our hobby knife. The tip of our hobby knife is going to run on this border scribe. That's why it needs to be deep. That's why it needs to be defined. And we're going to bevel the inside shape. We're going to be super duper careful. We're just going to go very light passes at first. Try to hold that hobby knife as perpendicular to your scribe as possible. You'll start to see this, you know, really develop here in a moment. Let's measure the bottom, or let's bevel the bottom first here. So it doesn't take a lot. It just takes, you know, a few passes on this with your hobby knife. As long as your hobby knife is sharp, that's going to be the main thing. It needs to be sharp hobby knife. So brand new blade. Just getting a groove on there. getting it beveled, making it look good, making it stand out from the piece. That's where we want to go. All right, so let's see. Chris Wu, God bless, freedom and also caring. Aww. Everybody hug. No, I'm totally joking. Don't hug. That would be weird. All right, so let's get this last bit beveled here, the long side. That's going to be the tricky part because short lengths, you know, are easy to hand bevel. Not a big deal. Longer sides obviously have more, you know, you have a tendency for your hand to alter, you know, angle, slipping, all sorts of different stuff, you know, that could go inevitably wrong with hand beveling. But after a while, you do get the knack of it, and you do get used to it. And for me, it's my kind of beveling method of choice, really. You want it to be even. You don't want it to be rounded or anything like that, like it can become. Just want it to be nice and straight. Yeah, that is looking really quite nice. All right, cool. Now, what we need to do is go back in there and clear out all of the debris that has accumulated in that outline scribe from the beveling process. We just need to make that a little bit more defined again. That is really going to make this this shaping pop. A nice defined outline. Get that bit out of the corner. Oh yeah, here we go. Now it's starting to take shape, guys. Now it's getting exciting. This is the part where you start to see it come to life. So, oh, come on, camera. Focus, you bitch. Ah. Damn, that's hard to see. I apologize, folks. All right, so let's see. All right, let's see if we can pop it on the leg. Maybe it'll help focus in a little bit better. Probably not. I need a macro lens. Anybody have a macro lens? Ship it over. All right, so yeah, I mean, maybe you could see a little bit more on there. I don't know. Maybe if I can get it closer to the camera, hopefully it'll focus. Will it focus? Boop, right there. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, so you can slightly see the beveling on that. So it's starting to pop out. It's starting to become its own unique shape. And you're starting to see it take place and the illusion of the vent coming into play, because now with this shape sweeping back, you can imagine air flowing into that shape. And from the side, you can kind of see its profile too. So you can see, man, that, I'm telling you guys, if you could see it on the stream, then yeah, this is looking pretty damn nice. So we're gonna pop that off there. We're gonna make it look super clean now. So, decision time. What do we want to do? Now, couple different thoughts on this. What we could do is we could cut horizontal vents, or vent slats, I should say, in to this side and make it look like a normal, plain Jane vent. I would usually tend to go that route. But with this, I don't want to. The reason being, you have this big, come on you, come, camera. You got this big old vent right here that is going to take up most of the viewer's attention. It's going to, you know, look like an air intake vent. That's obviously what this is, right? This little one, I don't know. What I might do is something a bit different. Now, this is the Jesta's chest. Now, on normal Federation mobile suits, you have air intakes right here in the chest, right? But on the Jesta, it's covered over with armor. So how does the air get into there? I don't know. It's a good question. But this being a space mech, does it really need air? Does it? I don't know. Maybe this is a thruster. Maybe this thruster is redundant now. I don't know. It's all on what you want to think. But this, I think I want to do something a little bit different and make it look visually and aesthetically unique. So what I'm going to do is something a bit different. And I'll show you. Show you in a second. Let's see what the width of this is. I think it's only about 2, maybe 3 millimeter. Oh shit, it's not even that. It's about 1.5 millimeters. Cool. That actually works to our advantage. So what I want to do here is I'm going to show you. I want to make just kind of a vertical type of floating notch. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to pick this up. Hopefully you can. Oop. Is it going to focus? Is she going to focus? All right, now, see that? I just drew that with my pencil. And that's coming out perfectly right now on the camera because the light's picking it up and everything. So what I'm going to do is a 0.3 millimeter vertical floating notch on this and make it look almost like an armored vent or like a piece of armor over this vent. I think that's going to look dope as hell. So that's what we're going to do. So what we need a little itty bitty piece of Dymo tape, right? And then we need to cut this down to the appropriate size because this is too thick. This piece right here is way too thick. So I need to find a thinner piece or maybe cut a thinner piece. That's not going to be fun because this piece is like 1 millimeter wide all by itself, I think, from what it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit over 1 millimeter. I need like a 0.5 millimeter. 3/4 maybe, because I can butt it up right up against the border that we scribed in a little bit ago. So, chisel discipline. I forgot my chisel discipline. So, with that being said, let's get our good friend the Chopper into the game. Let's tag him in. Boom, Chopper. All right, let's zoom you back out so you can kind of see what I'm going to do here. So, Dymo tape. We're not going to need the Zona. We're going to need the Dymo tape, definitely. And then, what we're going to need next is a 1/4 millimeter? 1/4 millimeter, yeah, 1/4 millimeter thick plastic strip. Wow, that's actually coming out. You can actually see that on that little camera too. That's crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this right up against the blade. We're going to jam the stop block right up against it, and we're going to lock that down nice and tight. So now we've got a 1/4 millimeter gap between the blade of the chopper and the stop block. Now, what you're going to find with the tapering of that blade down to a point, there's going to be a little bit left over, a little bit of space. So that actually might be the perfect diameter for our guide tape. Let's see. Man, yeah, and that's, if you, I don't even know if you guys can see that. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a little line. I mean, it's just like 0.5 millimeter wide right there. That's it. So very, very thin. So let's see what that does for us on this piece here, because that actually may be too thin. Jesus, look at that. Yeah, we need it a little bit thicker. Okay, not a big deal. So this is all part of it, guys. This is all part of this process. So now we're gonna flip it out to 0.5 mil. Yeah, that's 0.5 mil. Actually, that's 0.4 mil. Oh no, that's 0.5 mil. That was weird. Cool. So we're gonna pop that in there, and we're gonna make sure that that stands up. We don't want it to lay down. We want it to be 0.5 mil right there. All right, fell on me. Stay up, stay up, stay up, stay up, stay up. Boom! Jam that stop block in there. Lock that down nice and tight. Remove the plastic strip. Let's get our friend Dymo up in here. Get him into the party. Cut. All right, let's see what this looks like now. So that's an equally small strip there. You guys can probably hardly see that, but that is the perfect width that we need for this particular vent. So now what we need to do is trim this piece so it can actually fit in our recess here. So I'm just going to notch a mark in the tape, and then I'm going to cut it by hand. Boom. Come on, you. All right. Let's get our tweezers out here. We're going to peel this off. Just like that. And thin pieces of tape, guys. Thin pieces of tape. So you got to be super careful with it, or it'll go flying and it'll disappear on you into the ether. And that's not what you want. Okay. So again, this is going to be a gentle process, because since this piece of tape is so small, it's got very, very little adhesion footprint, so it will definitely move on you if you give it the slightest of pushes. So you got to be careful with this, guys. So we're going to use the 0.3 on this. We're going to get you zoomed back in for detail, or to see the top of my head, either or. And we're going to get this scribed 12:18. We're a little bit over on time, but not a big deal because this is interesting. Let's see. Let's get this scribed in here. No. Nope. Not going to use this. Not going to use this one. I think this tape is a little bit too thin for me right now. I think so. Or wait a minute. Let's check out what 0.5 looks like here. What's that look like? Does it center properly? That's my main concern. Nope, still over a little bit. Shit. So we're gonna have to go and cut a new piece of tape because this does not center the scribe, horizontally on that particular piece. So I'm not real happy with that just yet, because we want this to be dead center. Tape just hit me in the face. So trial and error, man. Trial and error. What was that? Oh. Come on. You guys are killing me right now. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. the guys on Gumpa Talk are going back and forth talking and everything, so that's what the ding ding is. Ding ding. Where did my tweezers go? What'd you guys do with my tweezers? Damn it. Oh, they're over here. Alright, so let's get a little piece of this out. This looks like maybe back to 1 millimeter. Let's check to see. You know what? We might actually go with this, and I might just butt this up against the border and go to town with it. Yeah. What are you going to do? Okay. We're going to go with that. I'm going to bevel one side because the bottom side of this notch, you know, remember it angles down. So we're going to angle that down a little bit to fit properly in this gap. Okay. Perfect. That's what we want. That's what we want. Then we're going to notch this top here. We're going to come back, cut this off, and then we're going to get to town. We're going to finish this up, and we're going to make it look good. What do y'all think about that? Sound good? Rock and roll. All right, so there's our guide piece. Again, super small piece of Dymo tape, guys. Super small piece. Juan Ferreira, what's going on, Mr. Grindhard? Thank you for watching, dude. What's good with you? What's good with you, Juan? Come on, piece. There we go. All right. Now we've got that pushed all the way up against the border here of our recessed shape. And that's looking pretty nice. I like it. Now we can go back to the 0.3 that I'd originally wanted before. Dude, you know, Juan says, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. Hanging in there. I can't complain. It's Monday, though. It's Monday, though, man. Mondays are always tough, you know? Mondays are always tough. Okay. Looking good here, guys. We are almost done. Alright, we just got to clear out the shavings here from this scribe. Get it nice and square on either side, because that's important. Something like a floating notch like this. Alright, so we got it. We've got the depth of this floating notch established. So now we're going to peel back this tape, and we're going to hope that it's nice and centered, and it looks like it is. So now we're just going to clean this up, and we're going to take a look at our work, and hopefully we like it. Alright, so important thing when you're doing a notch, like a long kind of, you know, elongated notch like this, is just to make sure that, number one, that the ends are nice and square, and that the channel of the scribe is flat on the bottom, nice and smooth. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Just did my first attempt. Juan says, just did my first attempt at hairspray chipping technique. Awesome. Wow, so exciting. Dude, it is. That's pretty cool, man. Did you do it? Oh, Bailey says, did you do it on a model? Nice. I really hope so. That would be bad if you didn't. All right. Final cleanup, guys. Toothbrush, just to clear out all the nasty debris and dust and all the shavings and shit. And it's just nasty looking. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's pop it on the piece. Pop it on the leg. I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is cool. This is going to be cool, I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Get that in the camera. And come on, light. There she is. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see if we can get that focused here. See that? That is pretty damn cool. So now, this piece looks like, obviously it looks like it's recessed. It's a beveled piece, so it looks like it's separated from the rest of the piece. It's got this floating notch in here that is indicative of a kind of an armor plating on top of vents, similar to the Jesta's chest pieces, because it's got 3 notches molded in, mind you. One here in this corner, one here in this corner, and this corner. So that's a common aesthetic in kind of the Gundam universe. So yeah, that is the production of all the hard work that we just put into this. It may seem it may seem like, I don't know, useless, maybe, but I mean, this is going to set your model apart from everyone else's model out there, guys. This will be unique, and then once it's transferred, once it's mirrored on this side, it's just, yeah, it's going to look really, really good. It's going to look unique. These pieces are not going to look boring and out of place anymore. They're actually going to look functional, and I'm going to be super happy with it. Dig it. Dig it. So, there we go. That's how you do plastic sculpting with chisels. Rock and roll. All right, let's switch over to camera 1. Let's see what you guys are up to over here. Let's see. David Brida is Brida. I don't know how to pronounce that. But he's over there on Facebook. He says, "What's up? What's up, sir? Thank you for watching. Appreciate that." Let's see. So Juan did the hairspray chipping. Wait a minute, it didn't switch over. There we go. There we go. So Juan did the hairspray chipping on the GM Sniper 2 high grade. That's pretty cool. It was make or break. That model was getting paint regardless. Nice. Bailey says, nice, brave. Yeah, definitely. Bailey says, Tim, how would you have done the typical vent fins, detail, chisel? It's a good question. So what I would have done is, this may seem like a lot, but what I would have done was done an inner border from that piece that we beveled on the inside, right? And then based off of that, cut horizontal just chisels along, along the length of that. That will go to simulate, a vent. It would basically simulate the vent slats, if you will. So that's what I would have done. But I wanted something different on this. I didn't want that look because it's it's a difference based off of the larger events at the bottom. So that's why I went with this. Chris Wu, every detail matter. That defines your style. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. That's awesome. Soravan over on Twitch says, that's the kind of thing I show up to see. Looks great. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome. David pronounced Brita like the water filter. That is the cue that I need, but with a D sound. Brita. Okay, Brita. David Brita. Okay. I think I didn't butcher his name. Minor miracles never cease to amaze. But David, hey, brother, thank you for watching over there on Facebook. I appreciate it, man. That's really, really cool. He says, love your stream. Thank you, dude. That's so nice of you to say. That really is. I appreciate that. Boom, you got it. Yes, I pronounced something right, guys. I did it. So proud of myself. And David, if you haven't watched the stream before, you know I can't pronounce for nothing. So that is an accomplishment. So I appreciate the assist on the pronunciation. So awesome. Good stuff. All right, guys. Let's see. It's 12:31. We've been at this for 2.5 hours. We went a little bit over than our normal time today. And, I think it was good. I think we got some cool stuff done. We detailed the ankle in the beginning, and I showed you how I did that, and we kind of finished that out with a little scribing, a little plastic strip, and then put that off to the side to dry, and then we got in and we did some hardcore scribing and plastic sculpting with chisels. Why isn't this camera focusing? There we go. Now it popped back. So I think we had a pretty damn good time. What do you guys think? I think it was good. Bailey says it was worth the extra time. I agree. So all right, let's go. Let's close this out. Let's remind you guys real quick of this big mammoth jamma right here. I can hardly fit my head in the camera. You can win this, by the way, by donating to the Gunpla Talk fundraiser / giveaway. It's for a good cause. It's for charity. So make sure that you get on there. It doesn't matter how much you give. You can give $1. That's perfectly fine. Even $1 gets you entered. Just a donation gets you entered into winning this thing. At the end of the fundraiser, we will pick one lucky donor anywhere in the world, and you will get this kit. This kit, the one I'm holding in my hands, this is the kit we will send to you. There may be some other cool stuff inside, maybe some bonus things. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying there might be some bonus things in there. Could be cool. Could be cool bonus things. Just saying. So please, enter and donate. It's for a really good cause. It's for National Alopecia Areata Foundation, and they do a lot of good work for people suffering from, alopecia and everything like that. It's for a really good cause. It'll make you feel good because you're doing a little bit something for somebody else, and you get a chance to win a pretty kick-ass model at that point too. Donate it and share on social medias. Thank you, Gamer Bud. Appreciate that, brother. I do. That's awesome. Also, too, if you are interested in any of these cool little tools that I used here, like the chisel blade and the tweezers and stuff, you can find those on the Amazon link down below on Facebook and YouTube, and a little bit later on Twitch in the description after we end the stream. And also, too, you'll find some really kick-ass books, kind of like this one here that we looked at, Nothing But Mech. This is the first volume. They have 3 and then 4 are coming out. Number 4 is coming out here very, very soon. That's all on that link as well. And don't forget, if you want a Blue Destiny shirt, if you want to rock that, with one of my favorite mechs, that's available on the Chowder Mech store. So, guys, we're going to wrap this up for tonight. Thank you for watching. As always, it's been exciting. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday or Tuesday, depending on where you're watching. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Same Child of Mecha time, same Child of Mecha channel. So, all right, guys. Good night. We'll see you next time. Bye.